Everything fell apart faster than anyone could understand. One night was all it took for Nathan Price to turn the entire country against the Borden family. He stood on a stage with a calm face, a gentle voice, and a story he had practiced to perfection. He claimed Amy and Ty had destroyed him 8 years earlier. He said they forged documents, stole his ranch, and sent him to prison out of greed. He lifted up papers, emails, bank transfers, every bit of it carefully faked, and spoke with the confidence of someone telling the truth. And the world believed him without question. News reports exploded within minutes. Commentators repeated his words as if they were facts. Strangers online spread the story like a wildfire. By the next morning, the gates of Heartland were covered in crowds screaming for justice. Police officers walked through the property with warrants, searching every drawer, every file, every stall. Cameras flashed from the road. Protesters shouted their names with anger. And the family, once respected across their entire community, stood frozen in shock. Nathan had won the first battle, and today, he came to win the war. The courthouse in Hudson had never seen anything like the chaos unfolding outside its old brick walls. It was built for quiet town disputes, small cases, simple problems, not a legal storm that had captured the attention of the entire province. Reporters filled the steps. Vans lined the street. Protest signs stretched across the sidewalks. Some signs defended Nathan. Many accused the Bordens. Only a few said they believed the family's innocence, but those few were swallowed by the crowd. The inside of the courthouse was no calmer. Every seat was filled. People stood along the walls. The air felt heavy, as if everyone was holding their breath. Amy and Ty sat at the defense table, trying to look as composed as possible. Their hands stayed close, but neither truly felt steady. Lou sat beside them, flipping through documents, checking notes, whispering last-minute reminders. Their lawyers were focused, tired, but determined to push forward. On the other side of the room sat Nathan Price, wearing a dark navy suit that made him look humble and wounded. His lawyers looked sharp, expensive, and ready to crush whoever sat across from them. Nathan's face was calm, almost gentle. The face of a man the public believed had suffered more than anyone should. His entire image was a weapon. The judge began the hearing with a serious tone. "We are here to determine whether criminal charges should move forward." Nathan's lawyer stood first. His voice filled the room, smooth and confident. He laid out the accusations step by step, presenting forged documents as if they were undeniable facts. Contracts with Amy's signature, bank statements showing money transfers, emails full of threats and bribes. Every piece of evidence was crafted so well it looked impossible to challenge. Then the defense rose. They explained how signatures could be copied. They offered details about how bank records could be manipulated. They described exactly how digital messages could be faked. But every time they spoke, Nathan's legal team countered instantly. They brought in experts, document analysts, financial specialists, IT professionals, each one claiming the evidence was genuine. The defense would explain one whole, and Nathan's team would cover it with another lie dressed as truth. It felt like trying to fight a shadow. No matter where the Bordens swung, nothing landed. Amy's heart pounded. She watched their arguments fall apart one by one. She watched their evidence get dismissed with a few simple words from a polished expert. She watched a judge listen closely to Nathan's side while barely blinking at theirs. She kept asking herself the same question. How did Nathan know everything they were going to use? Every strategy? Every witness? Ty sat stiffly beside her, jaw tight, his eyes cold with an old fear he didn't want to face again. He remembered how Nathan had destroyed his life once before. He remembered helplessness, powerlessness. The feeling was back, heavier than ever. Then Nathan walked to the stand. The entire courtroom went silent. He lifted his hand, swore to tell the truth, and began speaking in a soft, trembling voice. He talked about coming to Hudson years ago with honest intentions. He described being targeted by a powerful family. He said he was framed and thrown into prison, separated from his dreams, his property, and his future. He said he forgave them. He said he only wanted the truth. His voice cracked at the perfect moments, each break echoing through the room like a wound reopening. People in the audience wiped away tears. Even the judge looked moved. Nathan wasn't just testifying. He was performing, and everyone believed him. During lunch, Amy, Ty, and Lou sat in a small side room watching news clips. Nathan's shaky voice played on repeat. Headlines framed him as a hero seeking justice. Posts online cheered him on. The comments beneath every video turned into the Borden family with hatred. Ty stared at the screen. "We're losing. No matter what we say, we're losing." And he was right. The courtroom wasn't the real battlefield anymore. Public opinion was. When the hearing resumed, their lawyer delivered a thoughtful, passionate closing argument. She pointed out every weakness in Nathan's story. She explained how easy it would be to fake everything he presented. She reminded the judge that Nathan had a motive for revenge, but it didn't matter. People had already made up their minds. Nathan's lawyer finished with a calm voice full of certainty. The judge reviewed her notes. The courtroom held its breath. Then she spoke the words that crushed every last bit of hope the family had held on to. "There is sufficient evidence to proceed." The gavel struck. Nathan's supporters erupted in cheers. Reporters sprinted for the doors. Amy felt Ty grip her hand so tightly she winced, but she didn't let go. She needed the anchor. As they were escorted out, Amy looked up for one last glance and saw Nathan watching her. His expression softened like a mask sliding off. Underneath, she saw the truth. He wasn't hurt. He was satisfied. The next morning, the headlines were merciless. They called Nathan a survivor, a man seeking justice. They called the Bordens liars and criminals. TV panels debated how they had fooled the community for years. Every sponsor pulled out within hours. Grants were taken away. Donations dropped to zero. Even small local supporters backed away. Businesses they had worked with for years sent cold emails ending their contracts. Lou sat at the table scrolling through endless messages. "We've lost everything," she whispered. "Every sponsor, every partner, even the feed suppliers." Amy felt a quiet ache settle in her chest. "We'll rebuild once the truth comes out." But even she didn't sound convinced. Katie sat in the war room researching desperately. Lead after lead slipped through her fingers. Nathan had covered every trace of his real actions. No matter how hard she looked, everything disappeared into nothing. Upstairs, Lindy cried over cruel comments written by strangers. People who had never met her judged her family harshly. They questioned her parents' morals. Some even targeted her personally, and she carried a secret heavy enough to break anyone her age. Ryan, Katie's boyfriend, was Nathan's son. She wanted to protect Katie, but staying silent felt like a slow-burning betrayal. By evening, Amy walked to the barn, needing air, needing quiet, needing something familiar. Most of the horses were gone due to legal restrictions. The barn felt hollow. Spartan stepped toward her, pressing his warm muzzle against her hand. She closed her eyes and leaned against him, letting his steady presence hold her together for a moment. She whispered, "I don't know what to do. I don't know how to save our home." The truth she had been afraid to face finally broke through. "We just lost everything." Nathan hadn't just beaten them. He had broken their entire world. And Amy didn't know if they could ever rise again, because this wasn't the end of their struggle. This was the beginning of their darkest chapter.